Some truths hide until someone dares to see them. This is VeilX TV.
Disclaimer. This content contains fictional, speculative, and AI-generated elements intended only for entertainment. VeilX TV does not claim any information shown as factual.
For as long as most of us can remember, cartoons were the safest part of childhood. Bright colors, silly characters, innocent stories, nothing threatening, nothing disturbing, nothing unexplainable. At least, that's what we were supposed to believe. But over the past few years, a strange pattern has begun to surface, one that shouldn't exist. A pattern of missing characters, forgotten episodes, and entire storylines that millions of people swear were once real, but can no longer be found anywhere. You can call it mass misremembering, you can call it confusion, but the amount of people remembering the exact same things across continents makes it nearly impossible to dismiss. Let me start with the first incident. It began in a subreddit dedicated to old nostalgia. A user claimed they vividly remembered a character from a famous 90s cartoon, a red, clumsy sidekick who always wore mismatched shoes. The description was incredibly detailed, right down to the character's voice and catchphrase. Thousands replied saying, "I remember him too. I thought I was the only one. He was my favorite. How does he not exist?" But every trace of this character, every screenshot, VHS tape, wiki page, toy, promo artwork, was gone. Not lost, not rare, gone, as if someone had deleted him from history. People began to compare their memories. They all matched. He appeared in season 3. He had his own episode called Stuck in the Glue Factory. He was written off after falling into a river. Every detail aligned perfectly, yet no studio animation records exist. No official script mentions him. And the production team, when questioned, insisted there was never a character like that. That was the first erase. Then came the second. A character from a popular early 2000s cartoon, a silent blue creature that only communicated by holding up signs. He was remembered by so many that even old internet memes referenced him. Yet now nothing. Every meme involving him suddenly shows a different character. The original is nowhere. Then people began reporting something even stranger. Characters they remembered interacting with these erased characters suddenly feel off. Lines of dialogue feel incomplete, as if someone carefully rewrote history but missed a few fragments. Episodes feel shorter, transitions feel sharper. Entire jokes fall flat because the setup was never fully restored. It feels like someone took a scalpel to the timeline, removing pieces of a story frame by frame. And then the emails started. People claiming that when they rewatched these shows, they felt intense deja vu, like they were watching a patched version, an edited timeline placed over the original. Some reported headaches, some reported nausea. And one viewer claimed that when they paused an episode at exactly 11:22, for a split second, a different character flashed on the screen, one they remembered but wasn't supposed to exist. That's when things became darker. Some began reporting childhood drawings they were certain they made of these erased characters suddenly had blank spaces, literal white holes in the paper where the character used to be. Old notebooks had outlines with no faces. Figure collections had empty stands where toys once stood. The most disturbing incident came from a man who claimed he once owned a plush toy of one of these erased characters. He said the toy disappeared from his collection overnight. Not misplaced, not stolen, erased. A blank space remained on the shelf where dust outlines showed something had indeed been there, but wasn't anymore. Then, a message surfaced from an anonymous whistleblower claiming to work at an animation archiving facility. He said something chilling. These characters existed. We were ordered to remove them. Not from the shows, from the timeline. He claimed entire story arcs were rewritten because certain characters were not part of the final version of the timeline. Who gave the order? He didn't say. But his final message was the most disturbing. Some characters weren't fictional. They were visitors, they were warnings disguised as cartoons. Erasing them was not a creative choice, it was containment. From that moment, the pattern became impossible to ignore. Millions of people across the world remember characters that never officially existed. Characters who felt too real. Characters whose absence leaves a hole in entire episodes. And the deeper you dig, the more you realize this isn't about cartoons. This is about memory. This is about reality. This is about someone, something, re-editing the past. Someone is removing characters that didn't fit the timeline anymore. Someone is making corrections. Someone is hiding something that was revealed too early. And the most haunting part? If fictional characters can be erased from existence, What else has already been removed? This is only the beginning. The erased characters were just the first clue. Because what happens next is the real reason the Mandela Effect may not be a simple memory glitch, but the aftermath of something much bigger. Something that changed in 2012. Something we were never meant to remember. If the erased cartoon characters were the first cracks in the timeline, then what came next was the collapse. Because shortly after the reports of missing characters spread online, something new started happening. Something far harder to ignore. People began remembering entire shows that never existed. Not one character, not one episode, but full series. Shows with dedicated fan bases, theme songs, catchphrases, merchandise, suddenly gone. It began with a man in Ohio who posted about a cartoon he watched every morning before school. He described it in detail. A team of 2 kids and a sentient robotic dog solving supernatural mysteries. According to him, it aired from 2004 to 2006. The theme song? Perfectly remembered. The villains detailed? The toys? He said he owned 3 of them. Thousands replied, "I watched this too. I sang that theme song every morning. I had the lunchbox." But when someone tried to search for it, nothing. No intro, no wiki, no DVD, no trace. Not even fan art. It was as if the show had been vacuumed out of existence. At first, people blamed nostalgia. The internet laughed it off. But then the second erased show surfaced. Then the third, then the 10th. People from different states, different countries, different generations, all remembering the same things. And that's when someone brought up the year 2012, because strangely, every erased show seemed to have one thing in common. The last time people remember watching them was before 2012. After that, the memories blur, fade, or cut off completely. It's as if 2012 was the dividing line, the point where the old timeline ended and the current one began. One user wrote a chilling message. "It feels like the cartoons were from a different reality, one we never fully transitioned out of." But the next discovery was even worse. People reported remembering specific life lessons from these erased shows. Moral messages, warnings. Episodes that taught things far too advanced for children's programming. Lessons about time loops, parallel selves, knowing what's coming before it comes. Distortions in perception. Staying away from the watchers behind the static. Children shouldn't have been watching that. Studios wouldn't have aired that. Parents would have complained. Yet everyone insisted, "I saw it." Then finally someone broke the pattern. A woman named Eliza posted that she did still have evidence of an erased cartoon, a VHS tape from her grandmother's attic. She digitized it, uploaded it. Thousands watched. The cartoon was exactly as everyone remembered. But within 24 hours, the video was blocked worldwide. Not claimed, blocked. Then Eliza made a new post. She said the VHS tape had changed. The cartoon on it wasn't the same anymore. It wasn't the show she uploaded. It wasn't even animated, it was static. Pure static, with faint silhouettes moving behind it, and a voice whispering, "You were not meant to bring it back." No one has heard from Eliza since. Her profile disappeared within days. Not deleted, but no longer recognized by the platform. People tried Googling her name. Search engines returned nothing. Old posts referencing her vanished. It was as if Eliza never existed. Just like the characters, just like the shows, just like the timeline they came from. And the more people looked into it, the clearer it became. These shows weren't simply erased. They were replaced. Memories of entire plots have been overwritten with sanitized versions. Episodes that once included warnings about time distortions now show harmless, silly filler content. Characters who once talked about shifts now just talk about homework or sports. The old reality, the one people faintly remember, was edited, reprogrammed, rewritten into something softer. Safer, less revealing. If this is true, then the missing characters weren't deleted for fun, or nostalgia, or mistakes. They were removed because they knew too much. They were hints, warnings, messengers disguised as cartoons, and in the shift after 2012, they were purged. All that remains now are the empty memories, the outlines where characters used to be, and the growing realization that something or someone has been adjusting our reality like a storybook, removing the pages they don't want us to read. And the erased cartoon characters, they were only the first edits. What comes next is far more frightening, because if they can erase fiction, they can erase history, they can erase events, they can erase people, they can erase you. As the investigation deepened, something strange began happening. People weren't just remembering missing cartoon characters. They were remembering entire episodes that no longer exist. And every time someone tried to upload proof, one thing happened. The file corrupted. Instantly, no matter the device, no matter the platform, no matter the backup. As if the footage was never meant to survive in this timeline. Case number 4. The girl in the yellow boots. Reddit remembers her. Old forums remember her. Fan art of her even existed. She was described as short dark hair, bright yellow boots, a side character in a 90s cartoon, always appearing right before something bad happened. But today, nothing, no name, no archive, no trace. People swear she was basically the foreshadowing kid. Whenever she appeared in the background, something chaotic or supernatural happened next. But researchers found something chilling. The earliest mention of her online begins after 2012. It's as if that's when she was inserted into people's memories, even though she never existed in this reality's media history. Case number 5. The blue-eared cat. Thousands remembered a cartoon cat with blue ears, a purple collar, slapstick comedic scenes, a distinctive squeaky voice, but animators from the era swear no such character was ever created by any major studio. Yet people can describe its episodes in detail. The elevator gag, the haunted apartment episode, the mirror world chase scene. Except, none of these episodes can be found. But here's where it gets disturbing. A 2004 animation studio catalog lists the character's name, and then it's crossed out in thick black marker. No digital version exists, only the physical page. And the archivist who provided it said, "This page shouldn't even be here." It's like it appeared in the binder, timeline bleed through. Case number 6, the walking shadow. Parents remember warning their kids about a cartoon character, a living shadow that followed the main hero, mimicking them. Kids found it creepy, parents complained. But here's the twist. Animation specialists found the original storyboard frames. Not online, in a private collection. The creature is drawn, but the hero it follows isn't. Just a blank silhouette where the main character should be. Almost like the shadow existed before the character it was copying. That's not a Mandela Effect. That's something inserting itself into memory. Something not originally part of the cartoon. New theory emerges. Researchers now think these erased characters might not be deleted. They might be intruders from nearby timelines. Characters that belong to alternate versions of shows, alternate versions of history, alternate versions of us. And when the timelines merged in 2012, they left behind fragments, memories, hints, ghost images, but not physical proof, like static between channels of reality. Something strange connects all the erased cartoon characters. Every memory, every forum post, every first reported sighting begins after one specific year, 2012. At first that looked like coincidence, until researchers noticed something disturbing. Global memory anomalies spike in 2012. Cartoons.logos. Geography, human anatomy. Everything. It's the same year people started talking about timeline jumps, reality shifts. The world feels different. Things aren't where they used to be. But here's the biggest question. Why cartoons? Why would fictional characters cross over into our memories? The answer is darker than you expect. Theory. Cartoons were never fiction. A leaked research document, allegedly from a classified psychological bureau, proposed a shocking idea. Human imagination is not imagination. It is perception of parallel realities. Meaning, when an artist creates a character, maybe they're not inventing it. Maybe they're receiving it from somewhere else, from another timeline, another version of Earth, another version of history. So when timelines shift, some characters don't make the jump correctly. They get half-remembered, mismerged, erased, or stuck between worlds. That's why some feel so familiar even when they never existed. Because they did exist, just not here, not anymore. The 2012 collision event researchers call it the collision. A moment when multiple timelines touched, just for a split second. Long enough for people to remember alternate maps, logos to change, famous scenes to shift, product names to rewrite themselves, cartoon characters to slip through holes in reality. But here's the creepy part. During the shift, some characters may have bled through into our memories without ever existing in this timeline's media, like echoes, like shadows of worlds we're not supposed to access. And the characters that didn't fully lock into our reality, they're missing. But we remember them anyway. That's the Mandela Effect. The final case, the Station 9 mascot. This one is the most disturbing. Multiple adults remember a cartoon mascot used for a late-night kids programming block called Station 9. Except, there is no record of any channel ever using that name. People describe the mascot the same way. Tall, thin, smiling, wearing oversized gloves, speaking in a whisper-like voice, telling kids not to stay up after midnight. But here's the detail that chills everyone. Dozens of people remember the mascot walking closer to the screen every night. Slowly, almost uncomfortably. Like it learned, like it adapted, like it wasn't a character at all. But something using the cartoon block as a doorway. A doorway that may have closed after the 2012 timeline shift, trapping it on the other side. Or worse, trapping it somewhere in between. The creepy pattern. Every erased character has no digital archive, has no physical merchandise, cannot be found in studio records, is remembered consistently by unrelated people, first appears in memory after 2012, often behaves strangely for a kids' show character that's not misremembering. That's bleed through, residue from timelines we aren't supposed to access. Something horrifying emerges once you look deep enough into these erased cartoon characters. They don't just vanish. They evolve. The more people talk about them, the more detailed the memories become. The more consistent the descriptions get, the more alive they feel. And then someone noticed the most disturbing pattern. Some of these characters remember you back. Not physically, not literally, but in the memories people report. The memory feedback loop. A researcher in an online Mandela Effect archive explained the phenomenon like this. Your memory of the character is not the origin. It's the receiver something is transmitting. Meaning, when you recall these characters, you may not be remembering a cartoon. You may be remembering a presence that's looking for a stable reality to anchor itself into. Something trying to lock in by being remembered by enough minds. Because memory is energy, and energy is power. And power stabilizes things. Even things that shouldn't exist here. The erasure isn't random. The erased characters all share one strange trait. They had no origin episodes. They simply appeared in the shows people remember. No backstory, no creator credits. It's as if they injected themselves into the memory of the timeline before 2012 and were purged when the timeline stabilized afterward. But not completely, never completely, because people still remember them, and that creates danger. The forgotten file, Character 0. A leaked forum post, now deleted, mentioned a character known only as Character 0. People describe it the same way, across countries, across languages. Blank white face, no mouth, black oval eyes, red clothing, always standing slightly off to the side, as if waiting for something. Every memory of Character 0 feels non-human. Not evil, not hostile, just present. Present in a way that feels aware. And this is where all stories converge. People claim Character 0 would sometimes turn its head toward the camera, slowly, like it suddenly noticed the viewer. Like it had just realized it was being remembered. The final theory. The 2012 lockout. Researchers believe that 2012 wasn't an end-of-the-world event. It was a firewall, a barrier, a cosmic update. Something closed off our timeline from others. A patch, a seal, preventing further bleed-throughs. But anything that had already crossed before the lockout remained in residual memory. Fading, but not gone. And the terrifying possibility, entities that crossed before 2012 may still be looking for entry. And the more we talk about them, the sharper the memories become, which means one day, one of them might anchor fully again. Final message to the viewer. Not a warning, not a threat. Just a question. If something from another timeline wanted to enter ours, how would it do it? Through data, through images, through memories? Or maybe through a story you're listening to right now? Because every view strengthens the signal. Every replay sharpens the form. Every memory makes something more real. And maybe that's why you feel like you're being watched, even though you're alone. Because maybe something just remembered you back.